Hey, welcome back. Today we're gonna make chicken piccata. The family loves this one. It is truly a weeknight dish. It comes together super quickly. Here are all the ingredients. Let's get into it right now. I always like to go over the ingredients. It helps me, but it's more important that I help you. And because this dish comes together so quickly, it's really critical to have everything prepped. Okay, so let's just go over these ingredients. The recipe says 1.5 pounds of thin sliced chicken cutlets. I have chicken breasts right here, so we'll just fillet them, we'll slice them in half, and then if we need to, we'll pound them out. You're gonna season those chicken cutlets with salt and pepper and then dredge them in flour. That'll help get a better crust for them. It'll look better, get it nice and golden. We're gonna sear the chicken in a combination of butter and olive oil. I like to use both. Look, you can definitely do it all with this, but just listen to me and do both. That will be the optimal way to do it. 3 tablespoons of capers. These capers, I had my assistant, who is watching me always over here, rinse them and kind of soak them a little bit in water for about 10 minutes. That'll get rid of some of the sodium in capers. Capers are super salty. Could you skip it? You can, but I recommend you do it this way, okay? It's not hard to do. We also have 6 lemon slices, 6 to 8 lemon slices. This dish has lemon in it. It has 1 cup of low sodium chicken stock and then 1/3 of a cup of dry white wine. I have Sauvignon Blanc here, but you can use any dry white wine you like. All 3 of these come together to make a really delicious sauce. We'll also, after we sear that chicken, we'll put some garlic in here because garlic's gonna make it everything better. And then we'll finish with parsley. I have 2 butter things here, so it's 6 tablespoons of butter total. Like I have like 3 tablespoons apart. I'll use that kind of for the searing of the chicken. Then the other stuff we'll just zip in the freezer, and then we'll use some of that butter mixed in with a little bit of flour at the end to make our sauce, to like kind of emulsify the sauce. Most places, most restaurants will just use a cornstarch slurry. A lot of restaurants will just have a big vat of piccata sauce on the side. And like when they get an order for chicken piccata, they're like, more piccata sauce on there. And it's honestly, it's not that good. It's really not. Now, you know, high-end restaurants aren't gonna do that. Well, I hope they wouldn't. But I think you're better off following this way than the cornstarch way. If you really want that gloopy, thick, cornstarch sauce, feel free to do it. All right, let's get into filleting the chicken right now. So chicken, we're gonna fillet it, okay, we'll slice it in half. We're gonna take a fillet from it, okay? Not gonna butterfly it. Butterfly it means we would open it up and keep it together. I mean, you could do that if you want a really big piece of piccata. Sharpen your knife, you need a sharp knife here so you can cut it very easily. All right, so I'm just going to hone my knife very quickly. And listen, here's the deal. You can tell if your knife is sharp with a piece of paper or against your nail. People, you guys, some of you get upset if you shouldn't show people to do that. Well, it's gonna tell you exactly how to do it, okay? Like this, it's gonna stop on a dime. Okay, you can shave your hair if you want, but that's, you know, you don't wanna do that. You know, and then every time I do it, a lot of ambulance people, they're like, oh, you might leave metal chips on your board. So look, wipe it off then, okay? But I gotta show you here because this is where the camera is, you know, I can't like, you know, be over here with it, all right? But do that. But honestly, we're not even gonna do it on this board anyway because I don't wanna get my board wet with chicken juice. So I'm just gonna use this because then I can put this right into the dishwasher. All right, so the chicken, they're always wet. Dry it off. Dry them all off. It'll make it easier so it doesn't like slip out of your hand when you're doing it. Just gonna go right through here like this, all right? Right through there. So just take your knife and listen, you would be closer here to your edge, but I'm just doing this here so you can see it, okay? So look, your knife is sharp, so it'll go right through it, okay? Just like that. Now we have 2 pieces of chicken. And this is perfect for our piccata. Now what you can do is, because a breast will always be high on one side, thin on the other, you can just take a little bit of plastic wrap and then pound it to get it relatively flat. Why do we do that?
So that the entire thing cooks at the same rate?
That's right. It's important to do this. So you would always do this, okay? Because if you don't, it will never be cooked at the same rate, ever. It's impossible. I realize there's a lot of you who are like, Jim, I know that, you know, you're telling me something I already know, but there's a lot of you who don't know it, okay? The best way to do it is plastic on the top and bottom, and ideally on your wooden cutting board because you get much better feedback. this plastic thing, it's just gonna, you know, start bouncing around. This thing's awesome, by the way, all right? It was like, the one I had before was horrible. It was like magnesium, so it was chipping. I was like, I gotta get rid of that. All right, look, just a little bit. Oh man, forget it. Eating my words, impossible. Okay. Just a little bit there, okay? Now, if you want ultimate equal cooking, this little edge here you can cut off, but we'll leave it. All right, and this is it. All right, we're not going crazy here. If you have been watching this channel for a long time, you will know that I made a chicken piccata video about 5 or 6 years ago when I first started. The audio's horrible. I have a ponytail. I look ridiculous, or for some of you, I might look awesome. I don't know. It was time to redo it. But anyway, in that video, they were called ultra thin chicken cutlets that places here in Long Island serve it because, you know, these places are serving, you know, the Italian American community that is obsessed with a super thin chicken cutlet. And I used them in the video and it was just, they're too thin, okay? So you don't want them that thin. You want them like that, all right? That's perfect. So this is gonna work really well, okay? Same everywhere. And just do it for the other two, or just buy thin cutlets. Here's our chicken. This was 3 breasts, so now we have 6 pieces. I have flour. This is a half a cup of that flour, all-purpose flour. We're gonna dredge, but also just save this flour. We'll use it at the end to thicken up our sauce. Now listen, you can season your flour, like I would season it heavily if you want, but it's better off just salting and peppering the chicken first. Then you know exactly the amount you're putting on there, and then you do your dredge. It's just a simpler way. It's a more accurate way. Because we want to be super accurate when we put our salt on, you know?
Is that sarcasm?
Yes, I'm just seasoning with salt and pepper on both sides.
Not everybody knows if you're being sarcastic or not.
That didn't seem sarcastic
Well,
there?
I know it because I know you.
Okay. And listen, this is another thing too. I mean, the salt and pepper, often in recipes, I don't write. You know, you'll see recipes written, they'll be like, use a half a teaspoon. It's just, it's not the way. It's just not, okay? Like, full stop on that. It's not. Some people just cannot have salt. So like, it's just, or they want a little bit. Just put a little bit, all right? It's not, I'm not gonna tell you the exact amount of salt to put on your chicken here. You know what you like. So you can take another piece of paper because the chicken will just continue to like just get wet. So you could just do that. And then salt and pepper on the other side. Okay, so here's our flour. Remember, like I said, save it after you dredge it, and just do a parchment paper lined baking sheet like this. You could put the flour in a plastic bag if you like, you know, and honestly, I've been doing that on like, I'll do it for like, when I have a lot of small pieces, but for this is fine. Okay, now look, just go like this. Little pat, so we don't want a thick layer on it. Okay, that's it, just like that. And then just lay it down, and then go like this to get your flour back everywhere. Parchment paper is going to stop, like you'll be able to set up for a while this way, versus if you had it on like a regular plate, it would all get sticky really quickly. Dredging this is gonna allow it to get a little bit better color, and it's also gonna give a little bit more thickness to our sauce. All right, let's repeat for the remaining 4 pieces. So look, I'm gonna use a 12-inch pan. This pan works well, it's hard anodized. Use a stainless if you want. That would be fine. I'm gonna heat this up to a touch less than medium heat. Medium, the butter might burn a little bit, like a 4.6 out of 10.
4.65.
Yeah, you know, I mean, look, I jest, but you need to learn how to control the temperature on your stove. You do. That will make you a much better cook. All right, I'm just gonna let this heat up for a second. We're gonna put oil in first, and then we'll put in our butter. It's better that way so your butter doesn't burn. So just like 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just using regular olive oil here. Yeah, maybe a touch more. That's why I wipe down the oil to put more oil back down. Kind of like how when we do like chicken franchise, you're doing both. All right, so put the chicken down and do not crowd your pan. You might have to do 3 batches, depending on, you know, how you cut them, how big the chicken. I could fit 3, so I'll be able to do it in 2 batches, which is what I was going for. So again, regulate your heat. If you feel like if you're too low and things aren't burning, make it a little bit higher. And then what I like to do is, as I'm doing it, I'll just add more butter in, and I will rotate the chicken. That's what you're gonna have to do, because the inside here is gonna be hotter than the outside. I've stopped using cast iron a lot for these dishes and really for anything, because It's honestly, it's a pour. I used to just like recite conventional wisdom saying it's like a good heat distributor. It's not. It's like super hot in the middle, barely on the outside, versus a pan like this will stay relatively hot on all sides. Okay, stainless works well too. And my pan was a little too not hot enough, so I'm probably like at like a 5.5 out of 10, I would say, and I've just been rotating them. You can see how much they shrink as the heat comes to them. They were a lot bigger when we started. All right, they've probably been going for about 2.5 minutes. Do about 3 to 4 minutes per side. That should be good at about this level of heat. It's been about 3 minutes. Okay, so like that. See how nice that looks? All right, these probably took 5 minutes total. It might have my heat might be a little too much. It's fine. Okay, just something like this. You don't have to drain these. You just grab them. All right, my other side's not as brown, but I want to get them out because what I did was just touch them, and if they're very close, because we're gonna put them back in the sauce to finish them, you can just put these off to the side and tent them with foil. Same thing, you got a lot of fat and oil in here. You don't really need much more. We'll put more butter in, but I don't think we're gonna add more oil. And I'll just grab some more butter like that, maybe like that, and like that. And what I've also been doing is I've just been rotating my pan. Again, this is more because I'm cooking on this portable burner. It basically, if you can learn to cook on a portable burner like this, you'll be infinitely better cooking on a real stove because the heating element is larger. Okay, I rotate here often because part of the pan is not as hot as the other side. Okay, so this whole frying process here, maybe 15 minutes total, but it was like about 6 minutes per batch. All right, so we'll just pull these out. That's the chicken. Look at that. Looks good, right? Beautiful. All right, just tent it over there. Their pan, everything here is fine. You're gonna have some leftover fat from the chicken, butter, and oil, which is what you want. Turn the heat off for a second. Okay, just turn it off. Add your garlic in. Now I'm gonna turn the heat back on to very low. Okay, about a 3 out of 10. Just wanna get this garlic a little golden in here, but we don't wanna burn it. And this is only gonna take about a minute or two. So the whole dish now at this point, like you have your chicken seared, like the whole thing is like you can call your family down to eat because they could sit there and wait because the sauce takes just a few minutes now.
If you wanted to prep this ahead, you could just like sear the chicken the night before.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, and then
when you can make the whole thing ahead. This is what catering places do all the time. You know, they make extra sauce, cornstarch.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything's in like a big pool of sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like that's golden. That's all I'm looking for there. Here's the capers. Okay, and just like a minute on those capers. Okay, if you look like your garlic's getting too golden, which that is a little bit, I'm just gonna lift it off the heat, okay? I can just turn that off for a second, or I could bring it off somewhere else. Let's get the wine and the chicken stock in. So we need 1/3 of a cup of wine, or, you know, about that much, okay? You don't need that much, okay? Now turn the heat up to high. This is 1 cup of the chicken stock. Okay, I'm just using better than bouillon chicken base. Let's just bring this up to high. We're gonna reduce this a little bit, thicken it up a tiny bit, but most of the thickening will happen when we put our butter and flour in. Boil this for about 2 minutes straight, and with your wooden spoon, you can, you know, especially if you're using a stainless pan, you'd have more brown bits at the bottom of the pan. So just dislodge anything, and then, just let this cook for about 2 minutes. This is the cold butter now. This is butter that was in the fridge. And then this is the remaining flour that we had from before. Just stick the butter in the flour, just coat it, and then we'll just use these as much as we need to get the sauce to the consistency we like. Let that keep going for about 1 more minute. Okay, so that's been about 2 minutes. Consistency of the sauce, it's reduced a little bit. Okay, it's like this. Just turn the heat to low. Lemon wedges, I'm gonna put in a few right now. You could save more for later. If you put them in now, the lemon will get a little bit like cooked and it won't look as nice. You'll often see pictures where the lemons are like, they're brand new. So, choice is yours. I'll leave a couple for later. This lemon goes in here and it gives it, more of a lemon tang. We'll let this simmer for a couple minutes and then, if needed, you can just serve more lemons on the side or you can increase the amount of lemon juice at the end. You gotta be careful though. You can ruin the whole dish if you add too much lemon, like you will. There's a lot of tang in here and acid already between the white wine and the capers. It's been a couple minutes here. I'm just gonna take in like one or two of these little tiny cubes at a time that have just been with the flour, and then just whisk it in here. Now what's gonna happen is you can do this further at the end. You can put your chicken in like last because you want you put it in the cold butter into the hot liquid to try to get it to emulsify so it doesn't break. But I just do it this way here, and then I get the chicken in, and then I pour it all together, and then we eat. So you can see that's the beginning of it. Okay, that piece, there's no more butter in there. We'll put another one in. We'll just keep doing it. And what that's gonna do is it's just going to thicken the sauce ever so slightly. Richen the sauce for sure. Because right now without that, it's like kind of like liquidy and needs some viscosity in it. And when you put the chicken back in that was coated in flour, that will absorb some of the sauce too.
Didn't you make a chicken piccata pasta dish?
I did.
Video for it?
I did. And that was nice because we used the pieces of chicken. So like each chicken piece, I think it was chicken thighs I used, they were coated in like the flour. And we needed a lot of extra sauce because it was, you know, the pasta absorbs a ton of it.
I remember that being really good.
A lot of people, like, you know, especially in America, like chicken piccata is served over pasta.
Yeah.
Like it's always served over like capellini or angel hair. And that's definitely not the case in Italy. This is the thing, this is what I tell you, like do this to how you like it. See how much butter I have left there? And also it's gonna be kind of a function of how much you used when you did your sear, but you don't have to use it all. Do this exactly how you like it. You can taste this each time you add another cube in the flour, and you get it right where you like it, then you could just, you know, you could call it quits at that point. I'm not gonna need to use all this. Definitely not. Yeah, just one more. Okay, I have like 6 more little cubes left. So I probably have like a tablespoon and a half left. I like it like a little on the thinner side. I don't like the gloopy cornstarch one. You know, I do associate that with like not so good restaurants. Like I don't think you should have a batch of piccata sauce ready for when you get an order of piccata. Just like you shouldn't have a batch of any sauce really ready, like except for like a ragu or something that takes hours to make. So look, here's our sauce right now, okay? See like this? So the richness is like that now. Let's give it a taste and season it. Really good, does not need any salt. Gonna put some nice pepper on it. You know, after we get the sauce tasting how we like, we'll add our chicken back just for a couple minutes with all those juices too, okay? So get those juices in there. I have the flame right now on very low, okay? I wanna be able to warm all this through. So just keep coating everything here. Just turn these chicken pieces over, okay? And we're just gonna let this simmer a little bit until our chicken is completely hot through, and then we'll be ready to go. I forgot the parsley. Okay, I'm gonna put on about that much right now. Let this just continue to like simmer and get all delicious together. So the taste tester is an hour, Tara, or even longer from getting home?
It's an hour and 20 minutes.
He's an hour and 20 minutes. We're gonna have him taste test it, but remember, it'll be an hour and 20 minutes later. I know you're saying, Jim, you're already setting it up. Well, I'm gonna taste test it myself right now, and I'll be harsh on it. Listen, if you want more sauce here, just double the liquid ingredients. It's all you have to do. You could triple the liquid ingredients if you want to serve it with pasta. The only thing I recommend you do at the end, like I said, is check your acid levels, your lemon juice. You can always add more to it, but you can't take it away. So don't be in a rush to like just, you know, toss it on there. All right, let's see how this is.
What does it need?
To be honest with you, it may be a touch more salt. We'll see what the taste tester says.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You want to make sure you don't incinerate it in the beginning, but at the same time you cook it enough because you're only going to put in the sauce for a couple more minutes at the end. We'll see what the taste tester thinks. For you, it'll be like a minute. For me, it'll be an hour and 20. James, you just had roast beef 5 minutes ago. Now you're having chicken piccata that's been sitting here for 2 hours.
It'll still be good.
Yeah, you can see the sauce has broke now because I just heated it up in the microwave.
I always like chicken piccata. So
It's a big bite.
It's really good. It's like lemon and chicken. I don't know who came up with it, but really good combo.
You've eaten this dish a lot in your life, so you've had like...
It's just that there's not much to comment about chicken piccata. It's like most people who like cook, they know what it is. It's chicken with lemon, capers, and garlic. It's just like good. It's like, it's not like anything like crazy. There's not much to say about it.
yeah, it's really not done differently.
It's solid.
Like some places will put artichoke hearts in it, some will do mushrooms, but for the most part, it's normally pretty much always like this. I think it's more about like execution. Like, did you get your chicken thin? Like, if you used a fat piece of chicken, you might have a problem. If you missed your sear on your chicken, which, you know, would be like an amateur mistake, stuff like that. You know, like if you have gray chicken instead, those are things that I think would make it not as good.
Yeah, usually I'll give it a 10 out of 10 with the new like ratings that I'm doing. I'm gonna give it a 9. It's solid. It's like 9 is like solid.
I think 9's better than solid, the way you're describing it now.
I mean, actually, I feel like 7 a solid.
Yeah. So this is better than solid.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe you should make chicken piccata one day, and then we can see, maybe you'll have a different feeling of the dish. You might think then, oh, you know what? It's harder than I thought.
Yeah. It's like so like basic and everybody knows it, but just because
It's basic to you. It's not basic to many other people.
Just because it's basic doesn't mean it's not good. It's like pasta with red sauce. It's like the best thing ever, and it's basic.
Yeah, that's going to be, when he does a video, when he cooks for me, I have a feeling the first dish he's going to make is going to be pasta with red sauce. Right, James?
He's already made it before, and he makes it pretty well.
Extra garlic. All right, James, we appreciate the 9. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.
Can I just finish this cutlet and then I'm not gonna eat any dinner?
Of course. People want to know that you're going to finish it, like that you're going to take it off with you. That's lets them know that you thought it was good.